If you're a small business, you're probably wondering how long it takes for your website to start to generate leads, but the real question you should be asking yourself is, what role should the website play in your marketing and growth? Hey, this is Logan Shinholster with Contractor Growth Network, and I want to walk you through exactly the role that your website needs to play for your contracting business. Now, I hear this all the time where contractors will say, Logan, I want a new website because I want to generate a bunch of leads. Now, let me explain the real role that a website plays and how it actually can be used to generate leads, sell more work, all the things that we want it to do. But unfortunately, if it's set up incorrectly as a system, then it all ends up not working. And then this is why there's such a negative stigma about marketing companies, because they don't set proper expectations as a whole. They just say, well, we're going to build you a website. Then the website is, give it some time, it's going to generate leads and you're good to go. But there's a reason that you're probably watching this video, because at some point, if you've been around for a while, you probably built a website or you had one built and it didn't generate the leads that you wanted. Here's exactly what a website is used for. Let me just use the example, Premier Ponds. It's the oldest client that we've worked with because it's my dad. And what the website's really good for is a sales tool. It is a 24/7 sales tool that you can always, no matter what time of the day it is, somebody can come to the site and fill out a lead. So it really acts as a sales tool. The idea is that when somebody comes here, a browser or a potential buyer or whatever you want, they're gonna come here and they're gonna learn enough about your company to trust you. If everybody really likes your company because you have fantastic customer service, well, imagine if we use that as the selling point on the website, right? Imagine if whatever the number one reason is that people refer you to their friends and this and that, you then took all that information and put it on a website. That website as a whole would then generate more leads. Everybody who's coming to the website, you would have a much higher chance of taking them from just a window shopper into actually becoming a qualified lead because of what you're talking about, what you're showing. You're effectively showing people, this is what we can do in your home. Here's how it will better your life. And if you don't move forward with this, here's kind of what some of the same is going to look like. And what I mean by that, and let me just give you the pond example. But if we say, hey, what we can do is we can come into your plain backyard and we can go ahead and add a brand new pond in there. It's going to enhance your life because now you and your family, especially during this crazy time that we're all in, you can spend more time together sitting outside by your pond, listening to the water, feeding the fish, smelling some of the moisture off the air. Like, we all as humans love being near water. It's why people go, most vacations are somewhere on a lake, on an ocean, somewhere where there's water around. You can bring that to your home. Now, remember we said we're going to talk about the downside of not moving forward. Now, if you don't want that and you just want to stay with a plain, boring backyard, that's fine. You can, spend time as a family inside on your phones, or you can get back outside, spend time with the family, and do all that with a pond. And that's effectively what the website's supposed to do. Is it's supposed to evoke emotion, it's supposed to get people to move forward, things like that. All right. With that being said, you're probably thinking, okay, great, that's going to generate a bunch of leads. So what do you mean it's not set up right, Logan? Well, first off, most companies don't do it that way. They just set up something generic, which is why most websites itself don't generate leads. But on top of that, you just built the website. Most websites are not actually designed to show up number one in Google, right? You'll have a lot of the right aspects and a lot of the right factors that will help you get found in Google, but you need to do some sort of ongoing marketing. So the first step is get your website set up as a sales tool that no matter what time of the day people are coming to it, it encourages them to buy. And the second step is now we got to get people wherever they are over to your website, because that's the sales tool. All right. It's kind of like if you were to renovate your storefront. Okay. Imagine you had a storefront, and just because you renovated it and you made the inside look amazing, you redid all the different aisles, and you made everything, you repainted it, looks great. Just because you did that doesn't mean you're going to get a whole flock of people coming to your store. You now have to promote it somehow. And that is where social media and Google come in. Okay. So now that we have the sales tool, we have to drive people there, and you can do that whether it's Facebook, where you're posting on Facebook. We run, with Premier Ponds, we have this all set up, but we mostly just do ads as a whole. Like, we don't really do organic posts as much. There's a time and a place for it, but they would rather just have us run ads, and they get a ton of work because of the ads, because we're constantly showing stuff. So they don't do nearly as many posts, even though if you're on a budget, you definitely should do that. They don't do as many, but when they do, they get, 47 engagement. They get a lot of people actually like interacting with it, but we mainly focus on Facebook ads. But then also on top of that, we do a lot of stuff in Google. So if you type in Pond Company Maryland, they show, at the top of the Google My Business page. And then they're number 2 in the actual listings, number 2 and number 3. Let me see if they're just 2 and 3. Yeah, they're number 2 and number 3. So when you're looking at this and you're trying to decide between a contractor or pond company, you've got one that has 44 reviews, 4.8, one that has 17 that's 5, and one that has 2 at 5. You're most likely going to pick between either the 44 or the 17. And then from there, you're going to look at both of the websites. You're going to see, who do I want to go with? So if we click on this one, you got this website. Compared to this one. Right, you got to think about which company are you more likely to go with. So the first thing that most people do on these websites, especially for ponds, remodeling, things like that, they look at the galleries. Let's check out our work. Let's see the portfolio, see what we got. And then we'll check out the portfolio over here. We do it a little bit differently on this site. Brochures. Just pick somewhere. Oh, there it is, before and after pics. That's what it is. So just kind of like the layout, just like the look and the feel and everything of the site factors in. So the fact that your site's supposed to be a 24/7 sales tool, you then got to drive people there, and that is how it all works. So, coming back in, it's got to pull up. Sorry, it's trying to do it all at once where it records and pulls stuff up. So it's typically much faster than that. But now you can actually click on any one of these videos, and it's going to play a YouTube video showing a before and after. So it's not just a still image, it's actually showing the different features that they've done at people's houses befores and afters. So as a whole, if you haven't gotten it yet, that is the entire point of a website. It is a sales tool. It is meant where if somebody comes in, you can then convert them from a browser to a buyer. There's other website companies where they really focus on getting you to the top of Google using just your website, which when they do that, it's now a lot of text. And you can only imagine in the pond world, the remodeling world, the painting world, it's a very visually stimulating industry. So if all you're doing is showing or typing out text and you're getting to the top of Google, that's not really converting anybody when they get to the site into an actual lead. Because now they're stuck reading everything and they're not actually being shown anything. And let's just say they do call you up, there's nothing on your website that makes you stand out because all the text is written for Google and not for people. While if you notice, what we do is we write for the people, and Google notices that the people love it, and because of that, they show up pretty high in Google. So that's kind of the idea of the whole thing. Your website is really a 24/7 sales tool that is meant to convert people from a browser into a buyer. And if your website's not doing that, then you've got a leak in your system. So I hope that helps. And if you want to learn more about how all this works and see some of the website examples that we've done, head over to contractorgrowthnetwork.com. Check out what we got, and you'll kind of see how we build everything and what really goes on behind the scenes. Thanks.